Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Thursday. It is the 8th of June, 2023. Going to look at the stakes action here on day one of the Belmont Stakes Festival. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Get 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also join me throughout the week for some more Belmont previews. It's going to be an excellent week of racing, and I'm going to be at Belmont Saturday for my first Belmont ever. Of course, I've been to Belmont many times in the past. Especially this meeting. But it's going to be exciting to see a Belmont finally in person, and it looks like it's going to be an exciting race. Great card today, great card tomorrow, and they're going to draw Saturday's card on tomorrow, I believe. And I'm looking forward to some of those races, especially the New York. They're not talking about the New York Stakes, but I think it's very wide open. Not the New York, the Manhattan, shall I say, on Saturday. But let's look at Thursday stakes races 8 and 9. The 8th race, it's the Jersey Girl Stakes, going for a $150,000 purse. Race for 3-year-old fillies here. 7 horses are going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,200 meters, if you want to go by that, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Belmont main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs, main track. Oh, and keep in mind, today's post time is 3:05 Eastern, so it's a twilight card, which I don't mind at all. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 5-horse Ent Becca, 5-1-4-7 for me in the superfecta. 5-1-4-7 super. Top selection, the 5-horse Ent Becca. 3-year-old filly by Uncle Mo. Sherry DeVoe trains. Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing was the first start on dirt at Keeneland, 22nd of April. 6 furlongs and an allowance race for 106,000, and the horse won by 6 3/4 lengths that day, and he broke on top. He quickened up nicely on a hand ride, basically, coming on with an 87 buyer. There was nothing wrong about that race. Refreshing here today, stakes quality horses, but not the world's deepest stakes quality race. I think the horse has enough speed to go away with it today. 2 back, the horse ran the 10th of March at Turfway, 6 furlongs and an optional 50 claimer, and the horse finished 4th by 7.5 lengths that day. He just kind of stalked that day. He kind of hit the wall late. He just couldn't keep up, but he ran his heart out that day, first time winners, and then a main special weight at Turfway, 6 furlongs 1st of February, and the main special weight 69,000. Excuse me, repeating myself. The horse went by a nose, and on the front end all throughout, he set some wicked fast fractions, but he held down, a good 65 buyer. He's definitely been on the improve, and he's definitely been training well since the last race. 2 workouts back, 4 furlongs 48 and 1, the 11th best workout at Keeneland out of 60, and a half-mile drill last week, and 10th best out of 33. So I think he's rearing to go. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse wins. I think for the late pick 4, the 1-horse Red Carpet Ready, wouldn't surprise me if this horse wins for George Arnold. Won the 8 bells on Derby weekend at Churchill very nicely, coming on with the career best 92 buyer, and then the Devona Dale. It just wasn't getting the mile trip that they just kind of hit the wall there, but won the forward gal before that very, very nicely at Gulfstream. I do think the 6 furlong trip is really to this horse's liking. It wouldn't surprise me if she wins. I do think Chocolate Gelato is going to get a little overbet in this race. Not a fan of Chocolate Gelato. I love Strawberry Gelato, though. Great place in Brooklyn, down in Williamsburg, that does gelato, but on Frost Street. But that's for another day. But Chocolate Gelato, I think this horse wants a 1-turn mile. She won the Frazette quite nicely. Ran horribly first start around 2 turns at Keeneland in the Breeders' Cup race. She might need the race. Like I said, trip might be a little bit too short. I think she's just going to get a little too overbet. I'm going to throw her off the ticket, but if she wins, I'll applaud her. But not a use for me in this race. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Belmont, it's the Jersey Girl. Let's take the 5-horse Ent Becca. Give kudos to the 1-horse Red Carpet Ready. 5-1-4-7 super. 5-1 on your multi-race. The 9th race from Belmont's the featured of the afternoon. It is the Wonder Again Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a $200,000 purse. Race for 3-year-old fillies. 8 horses are going to the inner turf course. The distance of ground here of about 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of about 1 mile and 1/8 on the Belmont inner turf course. About 1,800 meters, about 1 mile 1/8. Portable rails are up at 35 feet on the turf course. Last day, the portable rails will be up for this weekend at Belmont. Tomorrow, they'll be going down to 0, which is going to be very nicely done. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 7 horse prerequisite as a top selection. Let's go 7-5-4-1 in the superfecta. 7-5-4-1 super. Top selection, 7 horse prerequisite. This 305 by upstart. Chad Brown trains Flavian Pratt, who's having a very good under the radar. Belmont gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came 7th of May at Belmont, about 1.125 miles on the inner turf course in main special weight 90,000, and the horse won by 1/4 lengths. With the rails out, same trip as today from wide post draw. This horse, was very wide throughout, but he settled well down the backstretch. When he quickened up, he got the job done. He was decreasing margin victory late, but that's because he had to save a lot of, he couldn't save a lot of ground, but he went away with it. A very nice victory coming home with 77 buyer. Keep in mind, second place finisher was a next start winner, so he got beat by a better horse there. The horse really ran well next start out last week, I believe. The previous race was the 1st of April at Gulfstream, 1 mile main special weight 70,000 on Florida Derby Day, and the horse finished 4th by 9/4 lengths that day. He sat back early. He moved a little bit late, but he still needs something. Not the best beginnings. He needed the race for experience. Keep in mind, Spansive, who's running back this one today, was a next out winner in the here at Belmont last a couple of weeks ago. Second place finisher was a next start winner also, and this one was a next start winner. So it was a good form he's coming out of. He's training well at Monmouth for Chad Brown. 2 workouts back, 4 furlongs 48 into the 4th best workout 48, and a half mile 49 and 1, 5th best workout 29 on the 2nd of June at Monmouth. Coming here today, it wouldn't surprise me if this horse gets a good trip and wins. I'm going to use him. The 5-horse Spansive, it wouldn't surprise me if they just walk this horse in the front end. When the rails are out on this inner turf course, in general, the inner turf course at Belmont plays towards speed, but when the rails are definitely out, they definitely play towards speed. This horse most recently here on the 13th of May at Belmont on the wider, mile 16th after 6-2, the horse walked in the front and won it by 1/4 length from a stupidly wide poster. He was in hand throughout and went away with it. A very good race coming home with an 85 buyer. And then the 1st of April, Gulfstream, 1 mile to main special weight. Kind of walked on the front end, won it by 1/4 lengths that day. He was drifting that day, but he held on to a very nice race, beating some decent quality horses who've really been running out of that race. Like I said, coming here today, I'll definitely use him in the late pick 4. And the 4-horse Revelita for Chad Brown. Most recently, the Edgewood. This horse closed up for nowhere, just a little bit too late, but ran her heart out that day. And then here comes the Braddock Gulfstream. The horse finished 4th by 3/4 length with his horse at a very stupidly wide trip. The races in Europe, the Deauville race, he was facing tough horses that day, and then the Leon d'Angiers race and the conditions race, the horse went away with. Those weren't bad races at all. Training well on the center turf course. I'll give this horse a shot on the ticket, but I do think that other Brown is the better of the trio that he has in this race. But to recap my selection for the 9th from Belmont, now it is the Grade 2 Wonder again. Let's take the 7-horse prerequisite. Give kudos to the 5-horse Spansive and the 4-horse Revelita. 7-5-4-1 super. 7-5-4 in your multi race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Good luck, everybody.